So here's one question. Does it cost more to install the panels on the ground rather than on a roof?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think short answer, yes, but I don't know if,
Let me give the long answer.
there you go.
When you're installing on a building, it's as right zoning and building permits can't be withheld. There's no application to zoning, planning, or other departments within the town other than the building department. If you install panels on the ground, price can vary for a ton of different reasons, but you have to deal with things like property set-offs, getting planning department approval, resource area with wetlands, a whole lot of different permitting. So the lead time for a ground mount system is significantly longer than a roof mount system, but we do both.
Here's another question. Can you retrofit a battery backup to an existing PV system?
Yeah, so this is a great question. I think something that we've been talking about quite a bit recently. Are there incentives for that? I saw the follow-up question. So,
You want me to jump in here?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to speak to the battery and say, yeah.
Well, it gets a little tricky with an existing system that's been built and has an inverter currently. The inverter probably is not compatible with the battery systems that we're offering. So it could be an expensive change out to change inverters to add the battery solution that we offer. We can offer, I guess, an AC battery system, so it's not directly connected to the solar array, or we could go through pricing out, changing out the inverters. There are only certain size inverters that the battery solutions work with currently. I hope that answers your question. You want to add something to that, Alden?
No, I think, Bob, that's kind of everything. The best case scenario, the inverter wants to talk to the battery, and so it's best if those can communicate. And more often than not, they need to be same kind of make and model in order to make that communication. So we can do it, but you know, there's some doing there.
The next question related to that is, are there incentives for that, to have a battery backup?
Yeah, so with the new installation as part of that, yeah, as part of the SMART program, there's an adder to that incentive. So in addition to whatever that calculation for per kilowatt hour that you'll get from the solar array, there's an addition to that would come with the addition of a battery.
I think part of that question might be if it's an existing system and you're adding a battery to it.
Yeah,
there may not be any incentive because the system is already under SREC or SMART. So we might not get the battery adder for that. And if the battery system is done by itself, I don't think we get the state or federal tax credit. But we would get, and this is for you, Corey, I think we could get into National Grid's program on the battery lease program, right? You could probably get that incentive.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to clarify. I mean, it's my impression that the Connected Solutions program is there to pull new power into the grid, not power stored by the grid and then pulled back later. But I think point being, it's a pretty costly solution if we were to retrofit an existing PV array with a new solar solution.
It turns out that this participant is also saying that it's a 6 kilowatt system.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I think I know we had been emailing back and forth actually last week. So if let's look into that a little bit deeper. If you can send me the information about the current inverter, we'll look into it a little further and then get a more clear answer on that for a specific situation.
Okay. So the next question is, how often do you run into structural issues that change the cost?
It's a Good question. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say it's a low percentage. I don't know if anybody else want to speak to that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess I could speak to that a little bit.
Okay.
It's more common we don't run into a structural issue. And I think that it can be from as simple as, sistering some rafters or some collar ties or some not very expensive solution to the structure isn't suitable. Obviously, as a homeowner, that's why you want the engineer's stamp on the final design of the system, that the roof can hold the snow loads and the wind loads and whatever the code is for that town or that area.
Okay, the next question is, I'm only looking for a smaller system with the focus of oversetting the cost of my pool pump. Runs 24 hours a day, 30 watts per hour. Can I mount the panels on the pool shed next to the pump system?
I guess that would depend on probably the kind of structural analysis of this pool shed would be the first thing, right?
Yeah, I think we'd be happy to evaluate it.
Right.
Now, there's a minimum number of panels that we can put because of the stringing to an inverter.
Sure.
So probably, I think the smallest system we've ever done, Corey, you can help me, is probably 2.5 kW. But we could look at the structure and we could look at the usage of what you want it to generate on an annual basis, and absolutely yes.
Yep.
Okay. Is there, at what point, I mean, thinking about pools, pool pumps, at what point, I mean, there's the heating of pool as well as using, as well as the electricity of a pool. Do you work with people to work with solar hot water to be able to work with the heat of a pool, and as well as the electricity of a pump?
Yeah, I think that's a unique opportunity, I guess, as part of this program. Working with so many different installers as well, and we have a solar hot water representative. So, I know that we're more than willing to kind of work together, and that's what we're going to do. Or the approach that we've discussed is kind of working together to make sure that we're kind of capturing all of that. Whether it's some of these, maybe some of the technologies might change the energy usage in your home. So, we're going to do what we can to work with them to better understand, how much that's going to impact your energy usage, and then kind of extrapolate from that. So yeah, I know it's something that's been discussed in the past, and that's how we would handle that too. It's just to work, collaboratively to make sure that we're kind of covering all the bases.
Great. I mean, I think that yes, it is really especially wonderful that there are all these technologies that can coordinate with each other and multiply the usefulness of the electricity from any solar PV and battery storage that you might have, and to be able to incorporate electric vehicles, or air source heat pumps or ground source heat pumps. There's just, there are different volunteers, myself included, who have multiple technologies, and it's really wonderful how they can all be coordinated. So, think big and think about what the choices are that you have, and just mull over the possibilities, because there's a lot you can do.
Absolutely. And you mentioned this too, electric vehicles as well. So, reach out to Anna over at the Consumers Alliance, Consumers Alliance there, to kind of discuss their approach and our approach as well. As part of the system, we can install a EV charging unit. So again, something that we can work with our other partners here to make sure we're covering all the bases, and whether it's something that maybe that's the dealer provides or can provide, or if it's something that we would. So either way, looking forward to working with everybody on that.
Yeah, they can complement each other, and you know, it's great having an electric vehicle, knowing that it just comes, the electricity just comes from from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's useful to, you know, it may be a bit overwhelming to deal with the idea that there are multiple technologies that you might want to consider.
Right.
You know, this is an opportunity to mull this over, and we have, you know, several months at least until the end of December, when the federal tax credit would change and reduce a slight bit. But we do have this program, and that is offering lots of different choices for people. Does anybody else have any questions? I encourage you to check it all out, ask questions.
Yeah, I was just say, I mean, could discuss, I know we just updated or added the solar frequently asked questions to the website. So, I mean, if we wanted to go over some of that information, we can discuss it as well.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. Talked about a lot of it. Let's see. So there's one, I guess, an interesting kind of did you know, but one of the questions was, can my panels produce electricity even when it's not sunny outside? And kind of short answer would be yes. Obviously not as much, but yeah, during the day, you know, even if it's kind of peeking through the clouds or anything like that, even in cloud cover, there's some energy that you know, can be generated, obviously minimal, but they are still producing during those days. One of the other ones, I guess, was the options for paying for solar. So there's a couple or a lot of different ways, some unique ways if you really wanted to dive into it. I think the most obvious would be cash. That's, you know, cash is king, as everyone says, but not everyone has that lump of cash lying around. So there are also financing options. The Mass Solar Loan is a great resource. Quite a few customers who kind of go down that path and take advantage of that. In some cases, they have some income-based kind of buy down along with that. So yeah, that's one option. There's also some local kind of credit unions and local banks that offer some solar loans. UMass 5 is one up in the Lowell area. But yeah, and again, with financing, and that's really looking to structure it again. You want to look for that instant savings. You know, we're trying to structure it so that loan amount is, you know, less than what you were paying for your electric bill. So even though you're paying something right off the bat, you know, again, we're going to decide it so that you have that immediate savings. And then once the loan's paid off, it's free energy, right? So it's another great opportunity or option.
It's useful to know that it takes about more or less about 2 to 3 months to actually from the time that you express an interest to the actual installation and permitting and going live with your system. You know, for all those reasons, it does take a while. So I encourage you to you know, keep moving forward with this, because it, you know, it takes a while, and as soon, I think as soon, often for people, as soon as they make that decision that they want to do solar or they want to do some technology, they want it yesterday. And so you know, if you would take advantage of it now, just certainly as it gives you some, you know, some time to get to get in line and get the program working for you, so you can actually have your solar sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because it's you know, the Solarize program is really special, but it will have a deadline. We don't know entirely what it is yet, because we are in the middle of this COVID pandemic, and we're not quite sure exactly how we're going to play this out. But the sooner you do this, the better, to just keep moving forward and seeing what answers you can get. And it gives you some opportunity to take time to ask the questions that you need and to weigh out what technologies you want to focus on. and look at your bills and your cash flow and your lifestyle needs. There are a lot of pieces to this puzzle that it takes time to kind of sort out and discuss among yourselves as a household. So keep moving forward if you can, because it's worthwhile in the long run. You will feel really that you've done all your homework, and you've actually achieved something that you're really thrilled about. Oh, here's one question. What is the typical length of a solar loan?
Yeah, it's a good question. Corey, maybe you might be able to provide a little more insight on that than I. But,
we have some options. I mean, the most common is 10-year, just because it mirrors the 10-year incentive through the SMART program.
Okay.
We do have 15, 12-year options. We could even stretch it out to 20 if you wanted to go that road. Not too common, but yeah, 10 years is most popular. And that 10-year solar loan still keeps your out of pocket less than what you would be paying otherwise with a electric bill. So it's still a win.
Yeah.
Can you give the details of a 25-year warranty?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a couple of warranties at play here, right? So we, as a company, offer a 20-year workmanship warranty. Backs up kind of everything related to the installation. And then in addition to that, there's the kind of individual equipment warranties. With LG panels, it's 25 years. And then with the Solar Edge inverters, I believe we're doing the 25-year warranty along with that as well. So those cover the parts. So anything kind of over time goes wrong, we're able to assess that. Sometimes we're able to do it remotely. Sometimes it might be a site visit. But in that, as long as it's a warranty kind of item under the specific equipment, we're able to process that and help get back up and running.
Yep.
I hope that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a solar system. We've had it since 2013, and there was a microinverter that needed to be replaced, and so they noticed that, and maybe we noticed it. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. But they said, okay, fine, great. They popped it right in, and we were up and running.
It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, this technology lasts a really long time, long time. I had heard of back in 2012 of some solar panels that were installed in the 1970s, and they were still running.
Wow.
I think at the Beverly High School or something. I'm curious about that still, if they're still there. That this technology gets better, has gotten a whole lot better than 1970,
yeah,
and a lot cheaper, and but yet these panels were still running.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few folks here. I mean, same here. I know Corey has a system on his home. I know Eric does on his home. This is one of our partner owners. Quite a few have adopted, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm going to say this: if the solar is so inexpensive,
yeah, right,
25% is essentially 25% off the general cost of solar right now because of this Solarize Mass Plus program. You can do something else with that money. You can if you wind up getting your electric vehicle charged from that, and you can get batteries, and you can actually get paid to have your batteries used for peak storage, for peak demand. And we have battery storage, and we get paid by National Grid to offer our solar panels and the battery storage that is powered by our solar panels we get paid by National Grid for them to use our electricity in our storage. So
Awesome.
there are lots of different ways to make to skin a cat here, to make
Yeah, right.
to make it really feasible and accessible. So,
And this
you know,
goes for businesses too. I know we've touched a lot on residential, but I mean, there's a lot of benefits to having it as a business as well. I mean, I always think of kind of there's the public relations sort of benefit to it. Being able to tell your customers that running on clean, green, renewable energy. And not to mention the financial incentives on top of that. There's a lot of places using a lot of energy, so yeah.
And the electricity is only going to get more expensive.
Looks that way.
Yeah. So, and once you have got the payback period done, you have free electricity.
Sailing is right. Yeah, well, it's gonna be a great feeling.
Yeah. So, if there are any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. If there are no other questions, I want to thank you, ACE Solar, for being here tonight and explaining the program and the process that's involved in and the options. And I hope that people will consider going to the Solarize Mendon-Upton.com website, check out what ACE has to offer, and check out the other technologies of electric vehicles. And of course, ACE House also does battery storage. We have air source heat pumps that use electricity to heat and cool your home. We are offering ground source heat pumps to offer to heat and cool your home, and solar hot water. So there's lots and lots of ways that you can make your home friendlier and more comfortable, and save energy and save money, and make your home more sustainable. So.
And I will add into Carol, just if anybody's interested, obviously reach out direct to us. Our phone number is right on the website. I know through the Solarize website as well, there's a link to our site for a contact form you can fill out. We'll send you an email. Send in the electric bill, and we can get things rolling pretty easily. So feel free to reach out.
So thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight and participating. And let's keep rolling here. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.